300 East Bank squatters to be relocated. New PNC General Secretary selected. And Hess makes first carbon credit payment. Hi, I'm Noriko Bulford, and this is Uncut News. Do you see news happening? Send us a tip on WhatsApp at 592-659-6151. Some 317 persons squatting along the East Bank Demerara Sea Defense Reserve on Wednesday started their land application process to be relocated. The application process was spearheaded by the Ministry of Housing, who engaged squatters at the Diamond Hurst-Stilling Neighborhood Democratic Council. These squatters currently occupy plots of land along the Sea Defense Reserve at Grove, Little Diamond, Great Diamond, Farm, Hurst-Stilling, and Covent Garden. According to the chairman of the River and Sea Defense, Brigadier Gary Beaton, the land is owned by the Ministry of Public Works, and it prevents flooding along the East Bank corridor. Aubrey Norton has asked PNC Executive Member and Member of Parliament Dawn Hastings-Williams to serve as the next General Secretary of the PNC. On Tuesday, he said it is almost a done deal, and an official announcement will come soon. The position has been vacant ever since Gita Chanand Edmonds resigned from the position a few weeks ago. She has promised to remain on the executive committee nonetheless. Today, Scotiabank Guyana announced that it has expanded parental leave benefits for employees, with maternity leave moving from 13 weeks to 16 weeks, and paternity leave moving from just 5 days to 4 weeks. The bank said the new leave policy was implemented last August, making Scotiabank the first in the local industry to introduce these policies. The new policy caters for adoption and gestational surrogacy as well. Wow, if only other multinationals working in Guyana felt the same way about their employees. 16-year-old motorcycle rider Mohammed Khan was killed on Tuesday in Wakenham when the motorcycle he was riding crashed into a tractor, killing him and injuring his pillion rider, 21-year-old Vikash Singh. Singh is currently hospitalized in a critical condition. 26-year-old laborer Leroy Day was stabbed to death by his 30-year-old wife, Shaniza Clark. The couple had lived together for 3 years but had a history of arguments and fights. 4 days prior to the incident, Day had left the house following an argument, only to return home and ended up in another argument with Day, this time over the rent. Day reportedly slapped Clark with a piece of wood, which she then returned by stabbing him in the chest. Clark was later arrested and charged with murder. It's a new year. How about you make your truck run like new with Powered Automotive? Powered Automotive had truck parts and spares from all the major brands you know and love at prices you won't find anywhere else. Visit them at Lot 491 EE Eccles or call or WhatsApp them on telephone number 697-0171. Save big on truck parts at Powered Automotive, the #1 heavy-duty truck parts store in Guyana. You can multiply your cash by selling Digicel Top-Up. This is a legit way you can earn some extra money at your business or to supplement your current hustle. Become a top-up vendor quick and easy by linking with Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. The Ministry of Home Affairs has issued a prohibition order against 2 immigrants, one of whom is currently being sought by Interpol. Chai Hu Lin and Ku Bin Chen were declared prohibited immigrants in accordance with Section 33B of the Immigration Act. The order said that this was based on information that Chao Hui Lin is wanted by Interpol pursuant to a red notice published on the 24th of November 2011, and information that Kun Bin Chen is a close associate of Chao Hui Lin and may be involved in similar criminal activities as he. The police say they have caught the main suspect in the murder of 28-year-old DJ Brian Pittum. However, they have yet to give any additional information about the suspect. Pittum was killed after trying to save his father-in-law from attackers at a bar at the Looney Village, Linden-Soustag Highway on the evening of January 8th. However, the other 2 attackers are still on the run. Yesterday, 3 men were charged with the theft of 11 guns and 601 rounds of ammunition from Radar Security Services in Georgetown. One of the men, Carlton Damian Singh, was also charged with possession of 722 grams of marijuana. Also charged with simple larceny of the guns were Sheldon Noel King and Linton Dundee Chalkman. The trio was remanded to prison until January 25th, 2023. Now for today's oil update. The president is currently in India trying to persuade them to participate in the ongoing auction for new oil offshore blocks. Though India has expressed interest in a long-term purchase agreement for Guyana's oil resources, they are also discussing other potential areas for partnerships in the oil and gas sector. The Guyanese head of state said that the two governments are also exploring how Guyana's natural gas resources can be used. The bid round for 14 new oil blocks was launched last December, and it is expected to close by April 2023. In other oil-related news, Hess Corporation made its first payment of US $75 million as part of a new venture where Guyana receives payments for saving its forests. Yes, we are holding our rainforest at ransom, and it's called carbon credits. Isn't it wonderful? Anyway, it comes just 1 month after the government entered into an agreement with Hess for the sale of carbon credits for a minimum of US $750 million. The statement noted that the first payment represents US $37.5 million or 2.5 million art trees credits from 2016 at a price of US $15 per ton of carbon dioxide equivalent. Wow, that's really cheap. And another US $37.5 million for 2.5 million art trees credits from 2017 at a price of US $15 per ton of carbon dioxide equivalent. Oh, so ridiculously cheap. It added that two further payments of US $37.5 million each will be made during 2023. One in January and one in July, bringing the total amount available for appropriation in this year's national budget to US $150 million. Robbery season might be over, but the streets are still mean. That's why you need to get security for your home and business through Sheriff Security Service. Sheriff Security offers well-trained guards, armed and unarmed patrol, marine patrol, canine services. These people even got drones. Why? Because your security is their highest priority. You've seen the rest. Now hire the best. Hire Sheriff Security Service today. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's latest car on sale. Currently on sale is this 2016 Toyota Crown Athlete. It comes with Bluetooth mount rims, new tires, TV, CD, stereo fog lamps, park camera, and much, much more. Buy cash for $9.95 million. All pay as low as $1.99 million down, with around $170,000 monthly for 5 years, and it is yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info. Visit the showrooms at Lot 171 Peter Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lama Street, and tell them that we can send you for this sweet deal. Now for our Uncut News Useful Question of the Day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Ghana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. Last night I asked that with Budget Day coming up, I wanted to know what's something that you would like to see the state spend more money on. But before we get to that, I'd like to say a special thank you to our two paid supporters, Dion Nascimento and David Griffith. Thank you for your support, as it is what helps us bring you the news every evening. Bantu King says the state should spend money on human development. Indeed. Jay Jairam says the government should put money in the budget for a $5,000 cash grant for each household. And finally, David Biram says, when will Guyana have a government capable of balancing a budget? Last time I checked, our national debt increases every year as the government likes to beg for more and more loans in that the citizens have to repay through taxation. Learn to balance a budget before begging for more loans, yeah? You know, you make a very good point here. We continuously make budget after budget every year, but we're continuously borrowing more. We're never actually pushing a balanced budget. Why is it that our government refuses to actually balance its budget instead of continuing to borrow loans? Well, I don't know. Now for tonight's question. I want to know, how do you feel about the sale of carbon credits? Do you think it's a good idea? Is it a bad idea? Or is it just another way for us to milk the West's guilty conscience about carbon? I want to hear from you. So think about that question. Tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight, and check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Rico Bulford saying good night, folks.